and welcome back. This is Imran, CEO and founder of Confexco, the conference and exhibition company. Today we heard about how RPA is evolving, how RPA is automating our processes, how RPA is removing those daily mundane repetitive tasks and giving power to the machine systems to automate that by releasing us and giving us some more time to do other things. So we've seen all that today. Now I'm here to talk about RPA in statistics. There will be a lot of numbers. I don't want to bore you too much, but these numbers are important and they show the importance of RPA in industries, in regions, and how it is impacting our businesses. So let's dive into it. So are you still wondering how RPA is the right tool to propel your business into the future, even after looking at those presentations and learning so much from YouTube or the content that is available out there? Over the past couple of years, robotic process automation has helped companies progress to digital transformation worldwide. And RPA platforms have been empowered by advancing technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, or large language models. Today, we will answer questions like, what is the actual quantifiable impact of automation? How deep are markets penetrated? What is technology, or how is technology progressing in 2024? What is the future of automation? What should I do, or what process should I choose to automate? And what types of automations are available out there? And what is the potential of RPA within my organization? These are some of the questions that we always want to know the answers for. We keep asking, we keep searching, and today I'm trying to address this by finding some insights, global insights, and presenting it to you. RPA has established itself as one of the leading and most accessible automation solutions serving multiple business niches. Let's dive into what is the current state of RPA adoption, the overall market, the outlook for the future. Let's have a look at that in terms of numbers. 89% of very large enterprises have implemented RPA by 2024. So companies who have more than 5,000 employees, including Fortune 500 and Fortune 1000 companies, have already implemented RPA. What it means for other organizations? How can they learn from that? This is what we do. I mean, we bring in these companies together to share the best practices, to share use cases, and we impart that knowledge to our audience. According to a research or a survey by Deloitte, 78% of the companies have implemented or are implementing RPA within the next 1 year, and 16% plan to do it shortly within the next 6 months. As per a survey done by Robo Corporation, as per the survey done by the Robo Corporation, they revealed that 67% of correspondents invested in RPA technologies recently, as early as 2021, and 91% plan to do so in 2024. Now, did you know that RPA existed even before 2020? The term became quite famous from 2020 and 2021. And everybody knew about what is automation. Everybody is talking about automation. Everybody was asking about RPA. But RPA existed even before that. It was there since the Industrial Revolution. Process without manual intervention is automation. So any process, anything that you do where there is no human involvement, that is, in simple terms, automation. And let's look at why companies invest in RPA. The answer that we received when this was again a research done, and the numbers and statistics are in front of you, 34% of the companies say that the ability to adapt current tech to meet evolving needs is why they invest in RPA. So if you look at the answer, the top answer here, when we want to adapt, when you want to transform, you need not only people and process transformation, you also need technology transformation. And RPA has done that successfully. over the last few years. They also look at improving and quickly deploying customer services. Customer experience or customer journey is one thing that every company wants to improve. They want to have, for a banking solution, they want to have the minimum number of clicks from start to end on a customer journey. They want to reduce the time of any process of a customer journey process, and RPA does that beautifully. They do that in simple steps. Nowadays, we get our messages on WhatsApp instead of SMS. We get so many offers on WhatsApp. There is no need of a physical human being to interact with us. If you have some basic questions, instead of talking to someone or waiting on hold lines on call centers, the WhatsApp selection of 1, 2, 3 numbers can give us answers instantly. Now, this is another excellent use case. Now, let's look at the biggest RPA market. Globally, the RPA market is valued at $5.63 billion in 2023 and is expected to reach $54.57 billion by 2032. Now, that is a yearly growth rate of 28.7%. You look at the transition where we are right now. Look at the technology that's growing. It is very safe to say that we can easily cross that number by 2030, very easily. In an Automation Anywhere survey, 78% of the respondents said that they would somewhat or significantly increase their automation budgets in the coming 12 months. Now, again, this is very important because I think the senior leaders are realizing the value of RPA, and this has given the companies or startup companies who are doing automation solutions or services, and also companies like Automation Anywhere, very established organization in this topic, has been successful in multinational organizations. In terms of the largest RPA market globally, North America is the largest RPA market with a share of 38%. According to Deloitte, 56% of the global business services, which is GBS organizations, have already implemented RPA, and 33% plan to implement it. For 59% of the GBS organizations surveyed by Deloitte, RPA is the key transformation technology, making it the most desirable digital enabler. Now, if you look at this graph or the chart, the world map, you would see that North America is leading, but Asia Pacific is not behind. There will be another chart that I'm going to share with you, another diagram, which will give you an idea of which country within Asia Pacific is leading the RPA market size. Europe is one of the fastest, after North America, it's one of the fastest adopting region for RPA. And that this is one of the conversations we are having regularly with the industry leaders from Europe who are implementing RPA, automation, AI, emerging technology as a whole within their organizations and growing with that. Now, while I was talking about so many numbers, I'm sure there's it's kind of becomes boring at a point. So I thought I'll include something interesting, a global fact, something about unique animals around the world. Now, this is a beautiful animal called Ai. He's from Madagascar. He's a type of lemur and can be found exclusively in the jungles of Madagascar, where they come out at night to forage. Now, another interesting fact is their nails always keep growing, and sometimes they also look like Dracula nails. This is an interesting fact. Since we are talking about a lot of other facts, I thought I'll share few information about animals as well. Coming to now, that was not purposely done. As we move to the next slide of leaders, the leaders know, they understand the value of emerging technology. They understand, at least most of them know the value of investing and putting the budgets behind a technology like RPA. If you do a bit more research on these numbers, you'll find there's so much of data. But I will narrow it down. We've managed to narrow it down to very specific and important data here. So 72% of functions are supportive or highly supportive of the organization's intelligent automations strategy. So leadership in every department is almost every department is supportive. A notable exception is the IT department, which are generally less supportive than other functions, and more so. I mean, imagine if this is a conversation which a lot of IT departments have, that they are the emerging technology or AI or RPA is here to take our jobs, right? I mean, imagine if everything is automated, even say something goes wrong with a laptop, and AI can figure out the errors or issues that's happening with their laptop. You won't need an IT department or someone to diagnose it. So this is one of the things. So I think that's one of the reasons why the IT departments are generally less supportive. Most likely because they think machines can take their job. Um, Up to 59% of C-suite executives plan to increase their spending on automation and of course, why shouldn't they? Because this does make a long-term sense for them to uh, talk about improvement in terms of uh, automation, in terms of what's happening around the world, what other companies are doing, what competitive intelligence is doing. So looking at all that, they are increasing their spend and making it a long-term business sense. 53% of global business services organizations have already implemented intelligent automation, and 36% plan to implement it. Now, Confexco as a company is part of this 53%, where we have already implemented certain workflows, certain automation, and we are integrating AI tools to improve our customer experience and customer journey. So let's say very soon you may have an AI who is your boss instead of a real human being. Let's dive a bit more deeper into the benefits of RPA. Again, we're going to talk about statistics. So Accenture, which is one of the big fours, estimates that 76% of US workforce tasks can be reinvented by automating repetitive activities and augmenting high value activities, be it through taking over manual tasks, boosting productivity, or reducing error rates. RPA and other forms of automation can definitely benefit organizations in many ways. Now, this is one of the examples. The other is 98% of IT leaders claim that automating company operations is essential for generating financial gains. Also, 66% of GBS organizations reported achieving at least 10% of savings from automation. Now, if you look at global companies with multi-billion-dollar budgets, a 10% savings could mean additional products offerings, additional services that they can offer to their customer, improve their overall profit margin. So that's a huge impact that we see or benefit that we see while using RPA. So one of the top benefits that I came across through our research is the speed of task completion. 35% of people said that they were able to finish their mundane tasks, which took them long manual hours, and reduce that by 35%, which is very important when it comes to customer facing roles specifically, because any error that you do can irate a customer and you can lose that customer. So it's better to improve your efficiency, improve your accuracy, and handling of repetitive tasks. So these are three key benefits of RPA. Coming to the next unique animal, which is armadillo. I think everybody might have heard about this. This is a South African lizard, a girdle lizard, looks like a dragon. An interesting fact about armadillo is that they are one of the few lizard species who give birth to a live young instead of eggs. And there is some evidence that the females may actually feed their young, which is even more uncommon. Now, this is, if you look at some of the uncommon statistics I shared before, this is one of the uncommon animal I'm sharing with you. Let's look at the next few numbers that's coming on your screen, that is automation adoption. Now, according to McKinsey, boosting productivity growth by 50% could add $10 trillion in output to just the US economy by 2030. Imagine $10 trillion. Now, this could be a GDP of a smaller country, right? Uh, that's it. That's an impact that we can see in terms of the productivity growth. Comparing the level of deployment and impact, RPA is the second top technology in procurement. A lot of global organizations are looking at not only AI, not only improving the customer experience, not only CRMs or ERP. RPA I think it's safe to say that very soon we'll see RPA as one of the top technology in procurement. So this is going to change the way we work, change the way we function, help us become more efficient. And 79% of the workers named increased productivity as one of the main benefits of using automation. So on average, this is very interesting number. Imagine using 3.6 hours per week by using automation. This is a chart, a global chart, which talks about how automation across the world has saved time by using RPA and automated solutions. Now, if you look at the adoption of different tools, we have also broken it down in terms of AI-based productivity tools, adoption of process automation productivity tools, and also the number of hours through automating a single process for a single employee. Imagine multiplying that across a department. Imagine multiplying that across a region or a country. I see India leading in terms of number of hours per week saved. There was a saying, I'm sure everybody might have seen it. I don't know who said it first, but there were a number of names used when this was shared or as a meme or as a social media post. Somebody said, if you want to improve anything or innovate anything, give that task to a lazy person. That lazy person will be able to find out innovative way to do it in the least possible effort. Now that's something that resonates with a lot of us, because I mean, if we are doing same task every single day for 9 hours every day, and a manual task or copy pasting or just adding numbers to an Excel sheet, after a point it becomes you'll burn out. I mean, it will not be, you'll feel that you're not doing something valuable. You're not adding something valuable to the organization. So imagine that task is given to an automation tool, and you're saving a lot of time, but just by just giving prompts, by just setting up that process to X, Y, or Z, and if X, then Y, then Z. So doing that and taking that time away, you can do so many more things. You can create new offerings. You can improve your overall performance. So I think that's one of the things that's happening in India right now, where India being a tech hub globally, we are, you can say, the back end of a lot of technology that's coming from India. And that's one of the reasons I think we are leading in terms of number of hours saved per week, because we like to use technology in everything. One of the leading solutions that India is offering to the globe is from NPCI, which is the payments gateway, which is scan a QR code and pay. Now, there was a friend of mine a few years ago. We were having this discussion. He's settled in US for quite some time, and they are still using plastic or cards to make payments. And when I mentioned about how India has implemented QR codes, scanning, UPI system, and how it is working and how it is implementing, and it can happen instantly without any fee, without any charge. So there was a huge surprise there. Now that shows the potential India has overall in terms of the offerings. Similarly, Confexco, the conference and exhibition company, our goal is to become a catalyst in such growth environment, help not only companies and organizations in India, but across the world, bring them together, create a community. And that's what we're trying to do through webinars like these and physical events. Now, let's go a bit more deeper and talk about a more in terms of, we saw the benefits, we saw the global scenario. Let's look at the challenges when adopting RPA as one of the solutions. To reap the benefits of RPA, you must first implement it, which is obvious. but there are fears and obstacles companies face on their journey to automation. To process or technical complexity are siloed automations are the biggest challenges when it comes to deployment of RPA. What it means is, imagine you have a process of let's take a use case example which we saw today, an insurance journey of someone who's signing up for an insurance. It could be health insurance or motor insurance or anything. He has to fill a form, find, let's take a car insurance for that matter. You have to give an IDV based on what's the value of the vehicle, add on additional driver insurance, passenger insurance, glass or insurance, plastic insurance, accessories insurance. There's so much layers when you're just looking at one task, one insurance process. That is the complexity of just one insurance process. So imagine doing that in 4 different siloed operational teams. Say one person is managing only looking after the insurance for the overall vehicle. Another operational team is looking after only managing one vertical in terms of adding on add-on. So when this is there is a huge complexity in the overall process of that taking up that insurance policy for a customer. This is one of the reasons identifying the right process to automate is the first and the biggest challenge. What do we automate? How do we automate? It comes next. But first, what do we automate? Is it something that we can automate? And this is one of the biggest challenges. Now, 22% of organizations don't have a clear vision for intelligent automation. And 41% of the organizations don't have the enterprise-wide intelligent automation strategy. And 54% of implementing and scaling organizations have not calculated the impact of intelligent automation. These numbers show that there is still a lot of room for education. There is still a lot of room for sharing insights and expertise and use cases and case studies, and educate the organizations and companies and leaders to show how they can overcome these obstacles, how they can overcome these challenges. So the top 5 challenges that we have identified is, of course, 51% is the complexity of a process. 43% is siloed automation, where automation is not across the process, but just one part of it. And not so that does not show a big impact. 40% is lack of talent, which is people trying to learn or knowledge or share the knowledge, or even the willingness to learn is one of the things from individuals and employees. And also the ready-made lack of talent. What it means is people who already know about automation, they have implemented somewhere, and they are the right fit for this kind of a process improvement or process excellence program. And then, of course, 30% is defining automation ownership. Who owns the automation ownership? I mean, is it the IT department? Is it the department head, or is it just the process owner, the manager, or the director of that division? So that definition is sometimes very critical to decide what will be the future of that automation process. Clearly defining that will help overcome this challenge, which starts from top-down approach. Should ideally start from leadership position, going to the junior, right to the front-end employees in the organization. And of course, then the last 33% is on unorganized approach to automation. Unorganized approach in simple term means, for example, I Googled something, I found a nice AI tool somewhere, and I see that, it can automate a very simple mundane task of, say, creating emails for me and integrating that with Gmail. I utilize it, but I do not tell my colleagues, I do not tell my organization, I do not share that with anyone. This is something I'm using. I'm improving my own individual process. I'm reducing my workload. I'm helping myself, but then it is not helping overall organization to improve that. What if this is organized and that person who's implemented it shares it with everybody, shares it with maybe L&D department, HR, or the process leader, and says, maybe, this is what I've tested, this is the result, and maybe this will impact us in an overall delivery of our project. Imagine that situation. That is what we need to do. That is what we need to educate everybody on. and this is one of the goals that we have. So when asked what stops their organization from adopting RPA, this is a question that was asked. 33% of CFOs responded that it's not a priority. We were talking about who leads, right? So when we come to this point that when CFOs, the leaders who are sitting on the budget, who are assigned a certain budget, who are given a task of utilizing the funds in the best possible way, in the best interest of the organization, when they respond that it's not a priority, it is something to think about. It is something to take it up with the senior management. It is something to discuss in the next board meeting, management meeting, and make sure that there are definitive budgets allocated for your transformation journey. With this kind of a response, it's not the infrastructure that creates the potential problem, but rather the maturity of the processes and the exceptions that they bring is what creates this kind of a challenge. Now, this was shared by one of the leaders in Europe from Ernst & Young, Reza. He said that this is one of the potential problems that we see while implementing RPA. So in terms of numbers, again, 33.3% when they say it's not a priority. At this stage in 2024, when 78% of the organizations have already implemented it, you're way behind the race. You need to do something about it. You need to educate your CFOs. You need to educate your bosses on this. Of course, immediately after that is insufficient budget, which is the second most challenge or resistance to RPA. There are other reasons, which includes, of course, talent and other issues that we discussed earlier in our previous presentation. We come to another unique animal, which is maned wolf or maned wolf, which is in South America. They are solitary creatures with large ears, as you can see clearly in the picture. Unlike many other hunters, some scientists think that over half of their diet is vegetable. They're vegetarians. This certainly adds to their strangeness, but we think these canids are very beautiful despite how unusual they are, and they don't like wolves or generally when they hunt in packs. These creatures are known to be going solo. I'm sure I think you can relate to what I'm talking about in terms of other creatures that we discuss. Now let's look at some of the statistics in specific industries. First industry that I'm going to talk about is banking and finance. Due to large volumes of documentation and manual effort, the banking and finance industry presents ample opportunities for RPA. Now, most CFOs, almost 66%, expect to spend more time on RPA and other workflow automation technologies. This is as per a top strategic technology trends for finance, a Gartner research insights. And 92% of the finance leaders associate RPA with driving growth more than any other technology. I'm going to speed up a little bit because I think I'm running short of time. I need to cover a few more pointers. So let's quickly go through these numbers. 90% of the CFO survey said that the companies are either investing in payment automation already or have plans to do so in the future. And also 90% of the invoices that are attached or to a purchase order are processed manually, creating a perfect opportunity for automation. This is very specific to banking and finance. Let's talk about insurance. Insurance is among the industries that show most potential for automation. So let's see what's the role of RPA. 80% of the insurers realize that the need for digitalization and automation is important. Accenture estimates that automation can take over 37% of tasks in the insurance industry, and RPA can process insurance claims 75% faster than humans. Of course, it's a no-brainer. Now, automation claims processing can reduce the amount of manual work by 80%. RPA can complete a form registration 40% faster and with half of the staff, which we saw in our earlier presentation, how from 3,000 to 10 people. The huge difference in the same process with faster efficiency and delivery of the process. Now let's look at healthcare. Actually, healthcare wouldn't be possible without tons of paperwork and manual processes behind it, right? So the question the industry needs to ask is, how can RPA make them more efficient? It's a simple question. So healthcare requires registration of patients, manual data, a lot of data sharing, a lot of between data sharing between doctors. There's a lot of tests and lab reports, and there's so much data that needs to be manually processed. RPA can help, so it can help healthcare industry to improve their overall patient delivery. So 33% of the work performed by healthcare providers may be automated in the future, which is not happening at the moment. 51% of the tasks can be automated in specifically life sciences. And over the next 3 years, I'm talking about only US, 50% of the US healthcare providers plan to invest in RPA, which is a great number, but it can definitely, there's room for improvement. The healthcare RPA market was valued at 1.4 billion in 2022, and it's projected to reach 14.18 billion by 2032. So you can say that out of these 50-60 billion we're talking about, 14.8 is only healthcare. And the growth rate is 26.1% from 23 to 32. Claims processing, which is and 77%, customer service 63%, and billing enrollment 63% are the most common automation candidates listed by the healthcare organization. Now, these are the processes which can be easily automated by using simple tools. Now, on an average, processing a single claim manually takes 85 seconds, whereas RPA solutions can do it in less than 12 seconds. Look at the impact of implementation of RPA. And RPA can handle 90% of data entry tasks in clinical research as well. 90% of clinical research. A lot of time saved, a lot of money saved in the long run. Let's look at the future of automation. Now, if you've seen the movie In Pursuit of Happiness, there is an analysis on that. Why is it called the pursuit of happiness, not the goal of happiness or the result of happiness? You will know that happiness is not a destination, but a continuous journey. You can't reach happiness and then say, okay, I'm done. It is a continuous thing. You have to be happy regularly. So that's why the movie was called In Pursuit of Happiness, where it was a journey and which had multiple steps. So same way, in pursuit of innovation, RPA platforms are seamlessly integrating technological advancements, riding the AI and language model surge to redefine the very limits of innovation. So we are in pursuit of innovation, and RPA helps it. Now, McKinsey estimates that AI automation technologies can replace 30% of US work hours by 2030. And 88% of VP and C-level executive survey says investing in AI is the key to successful automation. So that says that it is not just an end result of, okay, I have done my automation, I've implemented RPA, and I'm done. There is always going to be newer technology. AI was there, now Gen AI is here. We did discuss about generative AI with an excellent presentation from Vikram Vaidya, who spoke about how Gen AI is influencing and improving RPA overall in any organization. So this is a continuous process. So that's why it's called, we are calling it In Pursuit of Innovation, In Pursuit of RPA. At the same time, 70% that say that security concerns will stop them from using RPA or using AI with RPA. Now, this number is going to reduce. I'm 100% sure about that. Maybe next year when we do a bit more research, this will come down to as low as 48-50%. And 72% of Fortune 500 companies plan to implement generative AI within the 3 years to overcome productivity gaps. However, they voice concerns over quality and control and safety and security risk, which is 51% and 49%. According to McKinsey again, natural language processing can significantly improve automation technologies by addressing language-oriented tasks, which constitutes 25% of total work time. Specifically with a multilingual country like India, this can be a big impact. And I'm sure there's a lot of work happening in the back end. There are a lot of language tools already available to free to use for corporates and individuals. According to a survey, 65% of respondents admit that they would benefit from usage-based pricing. This is something that's already happening, I think. Token-based pricing, usage-based pricing, number of keywords, number of statements or words that you can use in AI. And this is bound to improve as we move ahead with OpenAI, open source AI tools available, with APIs being implemented across legacy systems. This is bound to improve very soon, where usage-based pricing is going to be one of the key norms and a standard process in the future of automation. So let's look at what process should you automate to maximize your business efficiency. So we know what's RPA now. We know what other companies are doing. We know how it helps us. We also know how it can improve our overall delivery of projects and solutions. And we currently live in an era of automation. There is definitely no doubt about it. So from simple Excel macros to super complex algorithms used in like Tesla Gigafactory or Google X Labs, different types of scripts, software bots, and actual machines are being created every day to help people work faster, better, and more efficient. On the other hand, automation is often nothing more than just a buzzword, right? It is being put in every pitch deck by startups who are seeking funding, and it's part of every second strategy plan to build which are built by operational executives. In many instances, there is nothing behind these proposals, just empty words without a deeper exploration of the topic. Just because every investor is investing in AI and automation doesn't mean that you have to include that in your next project or in your next startup or in look at a wider approach. So how to go about automating your business? What process should I automate? How to start, and what pitfalls to avoid to ensure the success of the implementation? Now, these are some of the questions that we want to answer or address. So let's try to find some of the answers. So currently, we are in the era of automation, and automation to some is just a buzzword. So let's look at what can be achieved. So first, you need to decide what type of automation will be the best suitable for your business or for your process or for your role within the organization. So depending on the complexity of the task that is selected for automation, there are a few options that we have. First option that I recommend. Now, these are recommendations. Feel free to research a bit more on that. Look at all other tools available. But I've selected the top recommendations that I can give, which are easy to implement. The first one is tool dedicated scripting, which can be used for automating simple tasks, like in a very specific application, like which takes which is very simple, and deployment usually takes few days and is limited to a single application. Example, Excel macros, Outlook rules, like holiday rules that you set up before you go out. That's an automation, very simple. Or even SAP scripting, which are very, very simple and easy to understand. So second is the automation scripts. The second tool, these scripts or automation scripts is written using a specific programming language like PowerShell or Python. They can be used to automate a bit more complex tasks. This automation will still have a limited application interaction. The deployment and development of these usually take few weeks, and it can it can also engage a wider group of individuals to implement such automation scripts. Third is, of course, what we've been discussing the whole day today, it's RPA, which allows to build more complex automation. It enables the connection of various tools or various systems, CRMs or SAP systems or databases, and automates the process of data and documents between them. So it's not just one single system and one single process. It's a network. It's a web of multiple tools, And thanks to automation platforms like UiPath or Blue Prism, the deployment and development usually takes a few weeks and are relatively low cost. You can say these are some of the no-code, low-code deployments that you can do immediately. These platforms are also built with a very, very simple principle. So developers can focus more on tasks rather than the tool that they use and with minimum coding. There is also a matter of user interface. RPA can automate any application by interacting with it using user interface like just like a human. I mean, uh, these are called, a simple task. I'm sure you might have heard about Zapier and other tools out there which can link multiple systems and softwares and all. That's something very similar to what I'm talking about. The fourth option, which is a more uh, advanced option, is a 100% custom made application, allowing for automating multiple processes and tasks of the highest complexity all in one box, written from scratch. And of course, there is no limit what can be achieved here, but the same goes for potential costs. The full deployment time can be counted in months or even years. So you're talking about an overall journey of finding the right process and tool to implement. And if you can't find it, you create something of your own. This is the fourth option, which is very, very specific to your use case, to your industry, to your company, your employees, your processes. So this is something that completely customized. Now, let's look at how do we find the solution that meets your use case, your requirements. And this is a simple chart that can guide you to select the right process and to select the right tool which best fits your need. If you look at, if it's a simple task, you can which can be done within weeks, and the more complexity of the task, the more time it takes, the more deployment time it takes, and the more dedicated customized solution or tool you need. It is as simple as that. So based on your requirement, based on the automation that you want to achieve, you can select what tool, what application can I use to get and improve my overall delivery. Now, moving to the question of what process should I automate. Now, you know the tools, you know what works, but how do I select the process, right? You must understand that how to pick the right ones is very important, because you may end up spending time behind a process which cannot be, say, automated. It needs manual intervention. It needs human element. It needs the creativity or decision-making capacity of a human. So those processes or those operational challenges cannot be addressed through an RPA. So from my experience, most processes in an organization can be automated, although the most important question is it worth it? For example, if a manual execution of a process takes few hours in a month, and development could take half a year, can this process be automated? Yes, it can be automated, but should it be automated? I would say no, because it doesn't make business sense. So let's see how we can evaluate what process to automate. Now, this will help you in the initial process selection, after which a detailed assessment should be conducted, of course. Here are the most important factors you should consider before choosing what process you should automate. So the first thing that under this is business value. This is based on my research, based on what I understood of the topic, based on what kind of discussions I've had with several business leaders. So understand what process you should automate. To understand what process you should automate, you should understand the business value. So let's first thing look at the process execution cost. Or what is the cost and time needed for the manual execution of the process? Look at the errors cost. If there are errors, if there is compliance issues, how do we overcome that? Look at other value factors like limited workforce, availability of existing employees who are currently working on manual tasks and they don't have times, or they may miss the SLAs if they are executing a process out of their frame of work. So let's try to figure out if without disturbing the existing process, can I deliver business value to my organization? Ask this kind of question. When you ask this question, you will get an answer internally, and you will be able to find out which process I can take away from manual tasks and start to look for solutions to automate it. The second important aspect of selection of a process is the ease of implementation. Now, there are a lot of processes which are very complex. They have multiple executives, levels, hierarchies, logical rules involved. So find out the complexity, find out if it's simple to understand. Can you explain it to say a 2-year-old and in a very, very simple language, and see how we can utilize that and find the right way of implementing that process, or implementing RPA for that process. So look at the easiest process first. Also look at stability of that process. How long does it take to create that modification? Look at standardization of that process according to defined rules based on human judgments. Look at accessibility of data. Is it structured? Is it readily available? Is it digital? Is it something that needs scanning, manual intervention? Does it need external resource? Look at all these things before you decide. So these are some of the factors to consider before selecting a process to automation. You can see this at a later stage when you have time. So based on the above factors, we can calculate 2 dimensions. So automation potential is equal to execution cost, errors cost, execution time cost, and other value factors. And ease of implementation is stability plus standardization, accessibility of data, and complexity. So with that, I think I'm going to just summarize everything that we discussed in terms of RPA. This is a simple matrix that will help you assess the automation potential of your process. So look at high value, low effort, high value, high effort, low value, low effort, and low value, high effort quadrants here. And processes from second and third quadrant can be automated simultaneously depending on the organizational needs and availability of assets. So if you look at this, you can place where you sit and decide what to do. So let's look at a simple question again. What processes should I automate with RPA? Some of the simple answers here. Well, it's not a tricky question, but it depends on your unique business needs and specifics of your industry. Nevertheless, there are some actionable ideas which I can give you, of which processes can be automated using RPA, like overdue payments and monitoring reminders, like the bot monitors sales, invoices, payment status, or a reminder is sent to contractor if the payment deadline is exceeded. Multiple escalation levels are defined. That could be a model. Besides limiting employee engagement, the automation enables higher process efficiency, frequency, highest process execution frequency, leading to a higher collection rate. So this can help. Incoming invoices upload. Why, if you ask me? So thanks to the higher execution frequency of sales invoices that are being uploaded immediately after receiving them, shortening total receive to pay time. So this could be one of the process. Cash flow reporting, products, delivery automation, insurance claims handling. These are some of the very simple processes that you can automate immediately. These are some of the use cases. Now, what next? After this overall webinar that we did for RPA today, you may ask, okay, what's next? I would suggest keep learning, keep yourself, sharing your knowledge, and because with the way the technology is moving, tomorrow we don't want to be redundant. We don't want to be in a place where we don't know what's coming next. So we are glad that we could answer some of your questions through this webinar today, where I could share some insights, and I look forward to seeing you during our upcoming events under Global Business Transformation and Operational Excellence conferences, webinars, and summits. So I look forward to seeing you again. Please do follow us on LinkedIn and join us on our community of 35,000 plus professionals within business transformation, operational excellence. Thank you so much. My name is Imran. I look forward to welcoming you again at a Confexco event. Thank you so much, everyone.